discretion.
So give me your tips and super chats. I need membership so I can buy her back. I can't display your name just in case that member fake. I had to change my layout, hope you're cool with that. Yeah.
In the middle of the stream, my router died on me.
Goddamn.
Now my Wi-Fi password mentions Pandally.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a Comcast employee.
Oh yeah?
Why'd he have to joke about my Pandally?
Goddamn.
Did she leave because my sauce was watery?
Too sweet.
Or because we met in her minority?
Have a seat.
Or cause I complained about her doctor fee?
Oh yeah.
Should have had that pussy under warranty. Ain't no telling what I'm blaming shit on. Hey, hey, depression or the net code. Hey, ain't no telling what cats finna break necks. Whoops, there's no sex in the snort fort. Hey, I just leased a brand new Beamer, change the oil, I don't need her. I'm a begging style streamer who is tugging on his Peter, adding sugar by the liter, make the marinara sweeter. All I wanted was the skill to beat one game made by Coochie Bird. 5 or 6 years old when I had told my folks to buy that Logan, but they never did, so now I'm pulling Hogan's. I was 34 years old when I pulled down my pants to sin like Onan, had the stream rolling, grunting and moaning. Couple summers later, out of paper, I informed them at the hearing that I have no electronics and no cat/son. I'm DSP gaming with no space and with no /son. I will shelter Derek when he's perving as though that's my son. Fluffy-faced, greasy-haired dictator hat wearing, I'll be stewing in a pigsty. Bitch, I ain't kosher. I watch all detractor content molding, seething, while the dark side drill is cutting tracks like breathing. In the middle of the stream, my router died on me. Now my Wi-Fi password mentions Pandally. Yeah, I'm sure it was a Comcast employee. Why'd he have to joke about my Pandally?
That shit's funny.
Did she leave because my sauce was watery? Or because we met in her minority? Or cause I complained about her doctor fee? Should have had that pussy under warranty.
God damn. Dude, I didn't know he was gonna get on like that though.
Yo, Drill.
Hey, what up?
Have you ever noticed how many successful restaurants are theme-based these days? Just saying.
Tyrone, I'm begging of you, please don't fuck my wife. Tyrone, I beg you don't spread her cheeks all night. And I know that my dick is small, I cannot please my wife at all. I'm begging of you, please don't fuck my wife. I know your BBC is fat and I cannot compete with that. I'm begging of you, please don't spread her cheeks. I'm hoping you will never nut inside my wifey's big old butt. I'm begging of you, stop fucking my wife. And when I look into her eyes, I see her fucking other guys. I'm begging of you, stop fucking my wife. Tyrone, I'm begging of you, please don't fuck my wife. Tyrone, I beg you don't spread her cheeks all night. But when I think about it all, my penis soft and super small, I'm thinking maybe you could fuck my wife. And while the bitch is still around, I don't mind to hear the sound of cheeks being clapped in my sheet. Tyrone, I'm begging of you, please don't fuck my wife. Tyrone, I beg you don't spread her cheeks all night.
Oh, I'm all for it. Cuck life, 100%. Live the life of the cuck. Why not?
I understand that people right now are so hyped for the gifted memberships, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, thank you. But I hope that that doesn't mean that people are going to forego tipping, because that would put me in a bad situation. And in particular, I don't know why you guys, okay, why are you laughing? Grocery shopping, tips. Meal with my wife, tips. Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, tips. Nintendo Online, tips. Bills and stuff, tips. Tips are the liquidity of my business. Huh? Why are you laughing? Oh, so hilarious that this guy has stuff financially tight. Huh? I literally can't afford stuff on Tuesday on my day off, and you're gonna laugh? Oh, it's funny. When you can't go and do something with your family on your day off, your one day off for the week when you're working full-time 6 days a week, that's funny, right? No, it's not fucking funny. Now shut up. Grocery shopping, tips. Meal with my wife, tips. Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, tips. Nintendo Online, tips. Bills and stuff, tips. Tips are the liquidity of my business. Grocery shopping, tips. Meal with my wife, tips. Coming up, my day off on Tuesday, tips. Nintendo Online, tips. Bills and stuff, tips. Tips are the liquidity of my business. Huh? Huh? Huh?
This one's for all my baby girls.
Oh my god!
Windows 8.1. Jasper Kitty, he's my son. Worried that my mobile's fried. Computers lagging, slowing down. RTU PC is free. That's not good enough for me. Windows 8.1. When will support end?
It's Dark Dave's fault.
Laughing at these deadheads who said let's shitting on villain vent threats. Play some Stevie of the Dead. Oh Lord, now it's time for bed. Shit, I'm ripping on this locale. Red vest dripping so chill right now. Watch them as they graduate.
Gravitate, not
Don't DoorDash, his car crash. Hit so fast, did fuck the back. Don't crush the gem, can't fuck with them. I'm so class, feels tracks of whack. Don't stop, get it, until your Hogan's dead. It cameras on, he masturbates.
Certainly 11 years ago, I'm a completely different person now. I need to find Hulk Hogan for my WWE Champion collection. I'm not gonna act toxic this season. Twitch kicks me out of the partner program for no fucking reason. There were no hateful slurs ever on my Twitch shit. You're banned permanently, go fuck yourself. He brained a bitchly. I masturbated in front of children. I'm a porn star. My sweaty man JPEG 5 stars. And I only play the games to known whales to feature. What is it, a money creature? Yeah, look, it's a money creature.
Contributions are very, very slow tonight. And I can do this all night through. Don't bring any champions, stay on the side. I really need contributions are very, very slow tonight. And I can do this all night through. Don't bring any champions, stay on the side.
T-shirt rip? No. I'm rich every day. I go on Twitter and cry like a bitch. Calling yourself a whale, you're going on my docs list.
Somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
I'm like Santa Claus, right? And I can tell if you've been naughty or nice. So to me tonight, I'll be a prostitute. I'll wear a vest. Till next time, very nice.
Contributions are very, very slow tonight. And I can do this all night through. Don't bring any champions, stay on the side. I really need contributions are very, very slow tonight. And I can do this all night through. Don't bring any champions.
Chatting with you guys for a little bit before we start. How is everyone tonight? Welcome to those who are here. We got about 100 people here and climbing. I'll be honest with everyone, I do not know how many people will show up. Reason being, since this is a very specific piece of content for a specific audience, for example, let's be honest, if you haven't seen the show, you probably don't want to be here tonight, right? I don't know how many people we're going to have. You know, it seems like a lot of people are in the midst of watching the Fallout show, but haven't finished it yet. For full clarification, yeah, there's going to be major spoilers tonight. We're talking all the plot points tonight. Okay, we are. We're talking all the plot points of the show tonight, including character arcs, lore, the ending, which is a huge part of it. The ending of Season 1 is epically cool, and I can't wait to talk about that. How this show is going to change Fallout in general, because it exists now, and is really the last piece of Fallout, well, the piece of Fallout we're going to get for a long time. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. You know, not only am I going to summarize the show, but I'm also going to give you my thoughts and opinions on everything there, and I'm sure you guys are going to talk back and forth with me. We're going to have questions, you know, who's everyone's favorite character, why, what didn't you like, what did you like about the show, what did you think about the world, the presentation, the effects. All right, we have a lot to talk about, and that's why we have a whole night stream to do so. I figure in about a 2-hour stream, we should be able to cover everything, and basically say everything that I want to say about the show, so that way it's all in one place for people to watch when they get a chance. You know, you don't have to watch this if you're not interested, but also you can wait until you've seen the show to watch this, right? If you have not seen the Fallout TV show, unless you really don't care about it, or you don't have an intention of watching it, you're okay with being spoiled, you gotta leave. Because I'll tell you right now, you're going to be monstrously spoiled tonight. That's why it says spoiler alert in the title of the stream. That's all we're doing tonight. We're talking about the show. Okay? Walk Warrior, we're going to go as far as it needs to talk about all the topics and things we want to talk about. And then, you know, depending on if there's extra time at the end, you know, to hang out for a little bit, we might. But that won't be part of what I record. I'll stop the recording then, you know. I haven't started recording yet, for the record. Lives of Souls says, I haven't seen it. I don't care about it being spoiled. All right. Wait till you hear. If you're a fan of Fallout, when you hear what happened in the show, you're going to be like, holy shit. Because the show starts off slow, and by the end of the season, it's like, what the hell? Like, holy crap, I can't believe they ended it like that. And it gets you so excited for the future. It really does. How's everyone tonight? You guys excited to hang out and talk about Fallout? I am. We never do anything like this, right? We've never done just a specific stream dedicated to one kind of a show or subject matter. I've only done videos like this, but I've never done an actual stream with interaction. So I'm curious how it will go. Joe, no one has any idea what you're talking about, nor do we care. So if you're just going to repeat that in the chat ad nauseum, I'll just remove you now. So it's up to you. If that's how you want to play it. Nobody knows what you're talking about, including me, and no one cares. No, I don't think I'm pioneering anything. I'm pretty sure this happens on many other channels. It's just the first time I'm doing it on any of mine. So So, by the way, some shout-outs already. Jordan gifted a membership, and that gifted membership went to Reverse 750, so congrats, Reverse 750. Lucifer Soul re-upped his membership. Thank you, Lucifer Soul, for that. And Gabriel popping their 9-month membership notification, saying, I'm not in the Fallout, but I'm here to chill. Hey, as long as you're okay with the spoilers, then you can chill. Excuse me. Score, I am well aware of all of this. I'm well aware of the timeline. I'm well aware of when the show takes place. Don't worry, I educated myself tonight before this stream, so I would know what I'm talking about and not sound like a jackass. And this show is actually the latest part of Fallout lore. It's the latest thing in the timeline. So. All right. So, by the way, guys, it will be a live interactive stream. So, even though I'll be talking a lot about the 3 plot threads, trying to summarize each one and talk about all the different stuff that happens in the show, you know, it's very interactive. If contributions come in, I will shout them out. If questions pop up, I will likely answer them live. That's the kind of show it's going to be. I will have a little bit of an agenda at the beginning, maybe the first 20 minutes or so, trying to just go through the plot itself, right? Because the plot itself is very interesting. 3 protagonists that you switch between and follow their stories.
Money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
But then on top of that, you know, I'm sure things are going to come up or whatever. So, Pistol Wheat says, can I spoil things at the start, or do we save the juicy stuff for last? Well, I'm going to kind of generally just summarize the show to start. I'm going to say, here's what it is. There's 3 characters. Here's what each of their plots are. Here's how they intersect. And here's where the plot moves, and here's how it ends. And then we can dissect each part with heavy spoilers and the like. So, what's my favorite show of all time? I don't think I have one. I don't work in absolutes. I never have. The Fallout show is my favorite show of recent memory. Like, of anything I've seen, it's definitely my favorite show. Of you know, like the last probably 5 years of anything I've watched. What kind of food do they eat? Basically, everything that's if they're in the vault, they eat everything that's preserved, right? It's all preserved food. You know, Spam in a can, or crops that they actually grow down there in the vault with artificial light. If you're on the surface, you eat whatever. You're eating rad roach on a stick, man, right? You're eating whatever you can get. Yes, including The Boys. I like this better than The Boys. The Boys is good, but this is like, it's right up my alley because I like the games, and to expand upon the lore and make that something new is so cool and special. That's why I really like the show. By the way, let me just test something. I don't remember which picture is which. Is it this one? Aha. And it fits perfectly. Good. I wanted to see if it would fit with my head, and it does. So there you go. So I can actually bring that up, and it won't interfere. It won't overlay my head. So that's good. So yes, if you like this concept tonight, if you're here relaxing, enjoying, interacting, and having a good time, if you could support the channel, that would be outstanding. I'm looking to get more content for this channel. Right now, this channel is basically once a week a show called DSP versus the Internet, and that's it. I haven't really put other content on the channel regularly. If this works as a format of a show and people like it and show up and engage and support it, I likely will try to do more of these this year. And, you know, we can expand upon it and figure out, do we just want to do TV shows? Do we want to do movies? Do we want to do video games? Is this a way, an interactive review of a video game, right? Oh, yeah, Chemical Goods, you got to leave if you don't want spoilers, dude. Seriously, don't even, as soon as I start recording in like 5-10 minutes, you got to get out of here, because it's right off the bat, I'm going to talk about spoilers about the show. It's like the first thing we're doing. It's, you know, no one can get in trouble for spoilers on this stream because it's assumed that you've seen the show or don't care.
Looked like it was sitting in a wheelchair.
What are my overall thoughts on Fallout? Oh, it's terrible. Horrible series. Really awful. You know, just a hack series. Just, you know, completely bad writing. Terrible gameplay. Awful. That's why I play them all as they come out, right? That's why I've done multiple playthroughs of most of them. You know, because there's garbage gameplay, garbage games, garbage story, garbage lore. Right. Common says, I've been playing Fallout New Vegas to get ready to watch the show. Oh, cool. Well, wait, if you haven't seen the show, you should not be here. I'm serious. You guys are going to get spoiled, man. Jordan, thank you for your super chat. Do you think you should go back and watch game trailers to compare how they accurately portray the games? Oh, that's an interesting concept. Like, watch the trailer. Like, a game I've already played, go back and watch a trailer and see if the trailer is representative of what the game actually was after I've played it. That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. I've never done anything like that before, right? So is it representative of the game, or is it like a bait and switch, right? Excuse me. Oh, yeah. The pre-order of Fallout New Vegas came with a cool deck of cards and coins I still have, says Life for Soul. The collector's edition came with a ton. It came with the coin, right? The replica coin of what the courier carries. A deck of cards where every card was a character from the game. I think it had an art book. It came with a case. It was like a brown case. I remember all that stuff that came with it. It was a really neat package for someone who likes the game. Is a Fallout 4 playthrough going to happen? We're talking about it. We talked about it this morning on the podcast that it's a maybe. I would do it if people want it. We have 3 weeks in May with nothing going on. Seriously, there's 3 weeks open until new games start coming out in May. So, and by the way, we are turboing through Elden Ring. We are getting through it way faster than I expected. Way faster. Today we beat the entire Blood Palace in an hour. I was like, what the hell? I never expected that. So, yeah, like, we'll see. If I end up finishing Elden Ring, then I think that Fallout 4 will definitely at least start it and see how it goes. That's right. There's a comic book in the collector's edition as well that sets up the story of the game. That's absolutely correct. I forgot about that. Yep. Back when they put effort into collector's editions, now it's just a bunch of DLC content that's digital that nobody wants, right? Or, oh, it's the season 1.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
Ottawa. From O to Ah.
You're absolutely ridiculous. Hello, Mateo. Good evening. You tagged the wrong name. You tagged DSP Gaming. This is DSP Reacts. No, and that's the thing now. Now, if you get a collector's edition and you get a statue, like, usually the statue sucks, too. Like, the statues actually used to be pretty darn good. Now they're pretty bad. Like, I've seen a lot of these, and they're not very good. Like, Street Fighter 6 Collector's Edition. It's statues of Kimberly and Luke, the two characters that, like, you would never want a statue of. And they're not, they're okay. It's hilarious, though. You can get that Collector's Edition now for, like, $50 or something, because no one bought them. Like, they just did not sell at all. No one wants that shit. So, like, what the hell did they do there? And it was expensive, too. They were, like, almost $200, I think, when it was new. Now it's, like, way down. What's up, yeah? You spelled my name wrong, but what's up, yeah? I had the Songbird statue from BioShock Infinite Collector's Edition. I sold it. I sold it to a fan who wanted it. You're right. I bought two $100 copies of Street Fighter 6, and I regret it. Because, man, it was a scam. Just like all these expensive launch day versions of the games, it was a total scam. I thought, oh, I'm getting all this content. I'm going to get all this, all these tickets to buy outfits. You can't use any of them to buy outfits. They literally don't do that. They were worthless tickets. You still had to buy the outfits anyway. So I was like, man, I really ripped myself off there. That was dumb. No, we haven't started the review yet. We have not started the review yet. We're just doing a little bit of a hangout before I begin. Again, I don't know how many people we're going to get tonight. I don't know if we're going to get that many because this is definitely a massive spoiler stream, and a lot of people probably don't want to be spoiled on the show, and they're going to watch this after the fact, perhaps. The show's been out for a while. The show's been out for exactly 1 week. It's literally 1 week. It came out 6 p.m. last Wednesday. It's now 7 p.m. the Wednesday after. So, you know, it's an 8-episode run, and each episode is over an hour. So you're arguably, 8.5 to 9 hours to watch in a week. Not a lot of people have that much time. So I'm not surprised a lot of people haven't seen it yet. Or some people have seen some of it, but haven't seen all of it. So obviously you don't want to have people get completely spoiled if they've seen 3 out of 8 episodes, right? I almost forgot something. Holy crap. Oh, wait. There it is. Never mind. It was behind me the whole time. I forgot. It was right behind me in the setup. I totally forgot. Cool thing, man. And I have this hidden in the background most days. It is not a Funko Pop. This is an actual Fallout official bobblehead. Okay? It is Vault 111, so it was to tie into Fallout 4, but it was distributed exclusively in loot crates. There was a Fallout themed loot crate that they came out with in 2015. Yeah, here it is. This is right on 2015. And that's when I was part of the Loot Crate partner program. So they sent me the Fallout crate, and it came with this exclusive bobblehead. And it's really cool. I love it. Little bobbles. So I'll show that off on the stream tonight. No, I have not reviewed anything yet. Boy, if you ask me that again, I'm just going to time everybody else who's being stupid. No, I didn't review anything yet. We just started. We haven't even officially started yet. Sheesh. So I received a $15 tip from Dan the Man. Thank you so much, Dan the Man, for a $15 tip tonight. I appreciate that very, very much. First tip of the night. License for Soul also just did a very generous super chat, which I will shout out in a moment. But first, I have to find the tip.
Why am I
pop up.
toxic?
This works. Cool, it did. So thank you, Dan the Man. And then I just got a $50 super chat from License for Soul, who says, being lost in the Metro in Fallout 3 original run will always be hilarious to me. Yes, and keep in mind, the Fallout 3 original run remastered is releasing daily, well, every other day pretty much, on DSP Throwback. So every single day, you can actually watch a new part. Well, every other day, I should say, you can watch a new part. I'm actually curious. Let me take a look and see what's coming up. I haven't looked in a few days because usually I actually watch them and title them in batches. Let's see here. Okay, so yes, this yesterday was part 4 of Fallout 3. And now tomorrow I'm probably going to release the next part of Final Fantasy 13, and then probably Friday will be part 5 of Fallout 3. I'm looking right now at the videos that are there ready for me to watch and title, and there's one part each that I need to watch and title. So I'll be working on that. But yeah, that playthrough is going right now. The remastered playthrough of Fallout 3 is going live relatively frequently over on DSP Throwback. And I definitely recommend you give it a look. They could massively improve the visuals, like massively. Okay. Overpowered Boone is saying the spoiler alert gets cut off on mobile. Stupid mobile. Well, the thing is, if I put it first, then you can't see that it's a Fallout stream. Right? Here. I'll get rid of the word interactive. This is the problem with mobile, is that nothing fucking works on mobile properly. Here. Fallout TV show live review, huge spoiler alert. I'm doing that. There. It's frustrating, man, because I want people to know their spoilers, but they need to know it's a fucking Fallout review before they know their spoilers. You know what I mean? Lady Charisma, let's not get into a coastal war here, please. Lady Charisma says, This series proves in my mind West Coast Fallout has better content than East Coast Fallout. You realize I used to live on the East Coast, and I used to feud with the West Coast in Street Fighter? Dude, we can't have an East Coast, West Coast rivalry, man. We can't bring that back. I live on the West Coast now, too. Yes, I played Fallout Shelter for all of like a week, and I got so bored with it, I never played it again. It just was not very good, in my opinion. It only starts off good like the first few hours, then it gets so boring. Yes, License for Soul, that's kind of the idea. He says, I would love to hear you commentate throughout your original Fallout 3 run. Once the remastered playthrough is basically live on the channel, then I could do that. But we need to have the remastered playthrough live so that it's safe for me to comment on and everything. You know, gotta be sure it's visible, you know, understand what's being said. You know, it's in parts that I can play and look fine. You know what I mean? That's the point. Sometimes we might have to scrub music because parts are going to get blocked because of music. So we have to take care of that early. So yeah, we're working on that. And, you know, I believe the original Fallout 3 playthrough was 22 parts, which if you do the math based on the Red Dead playthrough, that means it would probably be about 44 to 46 parts. And right now we're 5 parts in, so it's going to take a while. But after a month or two, we might actually get the whole playthrough up, and then maybe I can comment on it. Keep in mind, the original Fallout 3 playthrough is very limited, and what I mean by that is I skipped tons of the side content. When I played the game originally, I didn't have the guide, so I didn't know about most of the content, and I missed insane amounts. And then during the playthrough, people kept commenting on it, saying, dude, you missed this plot line, you missed that plot line. I was like, I missed what? I didn't know that was even there. So I went and I bought the strategy guide, and then I was able to go and do all the content I missed. And that playthrough, that basically it's like the Return to Fallout 3 playthrough or something like that, side content, is just as long as the main playthrough. The main playthrough is 22 hours, and the side content playthrough is like another 20 hours. Oh, yeah, I know. I didn't understand the waypoints at all in Fallout 3. I got super lost and frustrated. I totally remember that. Okay. Is everyone ready to begin? Can we assume this is going to be the audience? I think we have just under 200 people. I mean, I'm not upset. I didn't think we were going to get tons of live viewers because it's got to be people who don't care about being spoiled or already saw the show. So I get the feeling that people will watch this over time, you know, as they watch the show themselves and then want to see a discussion about it, right? All right, cool. Ready? Ready to get started, everybody? Let's do it. Let's begin. I'm going to start recording. Here's what I'm going to do. Intro, summary of the show and each of its 3 protagonists and the journeys they go through. Kind of a discussion of the finale and how it ends. Okay, so tons of spoilers. And then essentially we can get into different discussions. We can talk about lore implications. We can talk about the Todd Howard controversy and what he's saying about it. Because what he's saying is pretty stupid. But we'll talk about that. We can talk about what's the best, what's the worst. Like, what did you like, what you did not like? I liked certain things and didn't like certain things about the show. And we can do all that stuff. Okay? All right, so let's get started. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to something special. I have completed watching the first season of the Fallout TV show on Prime Video. And being that I'm a 16-year-long YouTuber, and during the time that I've been a YouTuber, some of the biggest video game playthroughs that I've ever done were Fallout playthroughs. Starting with Fallout 3, then Fallout New Vegas, all of the DLCs for both, multiple runs of both, and then later on, Fallout 4 and its expansions. And Fallout 76 for like 3 hours, and then I never played it again because it was so bad at launch. I consider myself a big fan of the series. I just never played the original 2 games, and I want to make that clear up front. As a gamer, I don't know the lore or the gameplay of Fallout 1 and 2. All right, let's get that right on the table so that people don't have any misconceptions. I'm not a super fan of Fallout that has studied every single plot point. But there's some of my best, most liked RPG playthroughs of all time. And when this show was announced, I was very stoked because, hey, taking the lore and the elements of the world and turning it from a video game into a TV show could be a really awesome thing. I watched the show, okay? Now, I'm just going to say this up front. I absolutely loved it. Each episode of the show is around an hour to an hour and a half long. Each one's like a mini movie, and very well done. on Prime Video, they release all the episodes all at once. So instead of spacing them out once a week like a lot of the other on-demand video services do, Prime just drops them all. So you can just binge watch if you want. And I watched it slowly over the course of a week with my wife. Some nights we would watch one episode, some nights we would watch two, and we finished it a few days ago. Today is actually exactly 1 week from the conclusion, or from the launch of the show. It's actually now April 17th at 7 p.m.-ish, and the show actually launched on April 10th at 6 p.m.-ish. So it's been a week. The way I'm doing this is I'm going to review the show for you guys. And what we're going to do is going to be the following order. Number one, I want to give you a summary of the show. So just to refresh your memory about what happened in it, the three major protagonists, the plot lines, and the journeys that they go through. I'm not going to hit upon every single detailed point of the show in my summary. I'm just going to tell you the general talking points of what happens during the show, including the finale. Yes, that means the entirety of these videos and this stream will be full of spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled on the Fallout television show, leave now and come back after you've already seen it. Do not stick around. You are absolutely going to be spoiled. Unless you just don't care about being spoiled, then by all means, keep watching. But huge spoiler alert, from this moment on, I'm going to be spoiling the show. Now, the cool thing about this is I don't just want to review the show, because if I did that, this could have been just a standalone video that's like 30 minutes long. Instead, I want to turn this into a fun, live, interactive discussion with my audience here and see what they have to think. Like, what's your favorite thing about the show? What did you really not like about the show? What about the lore and how the lore of this show changes the lore of the Fallout games? Do you like it or dislike it? Do you think it's problematic? What about what Todd Howard is saying about the show, claiming that it's canon, when there's obvious things in the show that are not canon to the games? So we have a lot, I feel, to talk about, especially the ending. The ending itself is so epic and leading into something so cool that I can't wait to discuss it with all of you here live. All right, so I'm very excited about this, but it's funny, as excited as I am about the show and how happy I am that it exists and I liked it, there are people on the internet, no exaggeration, their entire internet existence, entire YouTube channels are based on Fallout lore. And these people are flipping out at the Fallout TV show because they're upset that this show changes the lore of the games. Imagine if your entire existence on YouTube has been making Fallout lore videos, and if Todd Howard is being truthful, saying that this show is now canon, it means that all the lore that came before this show doesn't matter. Do you want to know why? Because this show is set 20 years in the future, past the events of New Vegas. It actually is the latest piece of Fallout. It's past all existing games. So this would set the precedent of everything before it. Can you imagine someone out there where all you do is make Fallout lore, and for years and years, all you do is that, and now basically in a flick of your finger, it's all erased. All the work you did means nothing because they're basically rewriting the universe with this show. You're like, oh, freak it out, right? For me, I like this. I'm having a good time with it. I saw some of the changes in the show and I was like, all right, that's not bad. That's interesting. That actually makes sense. But I could imagine these people who are these lore hounds going nuts, going freaking out, ripping their hair out of their heads because now everything they've done is meaningless. Anyway, let's get started, everyone. Pick up your Nuka-Cola and take a sip.
Like that at all.
Pull out your official Vault 111 bobbleheads. And let's get started with my live interactive review of the Prime Video Fallout TV series. Cool. All right, so let's talk. First of all, this show has 3 different protagonists, okay? And each one is coming from a completely different part of life, a completely different situation. And it's cool because they all take place at the same time. And they intersect. So it's cool to see different things like that happening on the show instead of it just being focused around possibly only one person. I prefer to have more than one person as the protagonist. So let's talk about each one of them, I guess, in order that they appear. So I believe the first character that you would see in the show would be Lucy. So she is a vault dweller of Vault 33. And again, as we know, this show actually takes place further in the timeline of anything else. So everything you know about vaults and everything is kind of like thrown for a loop. You think, oh, we already know about the vaults, right? What could they possibly tell us more about the vaults that we don't know? Actually, that's kind of the purpose of the show. even though you might not know that at first. This show blows apart the lore of the Vault system and Vault Tech as a company in a way you've never seen before. Okay? So Lucy is in Vault 33, living with her, her father, who is the Overseer, who, by the way, is played by the main lead of Twin Peaks. Remember him? The guy who played the agent that was investigating the murders in Twin Peaks? Super cool to see him now in a new show as a lead. I mean, he's not a protagonist, but he's one of the lead supporting characters. That was super cool to see him back, because I love him as an actor from Twin Peaks, and to see him there, really cool. Cooper, that's right, that was his name on the show, Cooper. Really cool. But I mean, the Vault Dwellers are just an ensemble cast. It's people from all walks of life, but of course the thing is, they are all basically like happy. Oh, everything's good in the vault. We rise our crops, we have our virtual life, and we can't wait that one day we'll go to the surface and all of that. And so everything's like happy-go-lucky, unbeknownst to them that the surface is destroyed and everything's been messed up by nuclear war. To them, they're just, well, one day we can't wait. We'll go up there and we'll repopulate the planet. So basically Lucy's plot is she kind of like can't find her place in the vault. She's tried different jobs. She does a little bit of everything, but she's not very happy. All right, she's in her 20s, I guess, in the show, and being the daughter of the Overseer, they basically want her to kind of have a prominent role in the vault, and she really hasn't found anyone in Vault 33 as a match. Like, they even allude to that at one point. It was her and her cousin who were having like a romantic relationship, and of course they realized they couldn't really do that. That's it's stupid. So they need to find something for her to do. And I guess this is something that hasn't been in Fallout lore before. They decide that they're going to have an arranged match, an arranged marriage, with someone from a connected vault, Vault 32. Now, to my knowledge, I don't know, because again, I didn't play Fallout 1 and 2. But previously in the Fallout lore, there haven't been connected vaults, right? It's always been standalone vaults out there in the wasteland. And I think the lore is that Vault Tech always has some insidious thing they're doing, experimenting on each vault with different things. You remember in New Vegas, there's the vault where they turned them all into plant people. And then there's other vaults where they turn into super mutants or mutations and things like that, right? So with Vault 32 and 33 connected, I guess the question is, what is the experiment? Is it a social experiment where they just exchange vault dwellers between the two? And it seems like that's the case, because in the plot of the show, they say that every decade or two they have an exchange. And in fact, Lucy's dad, the Overseer, his name is Hank, by the way, the Overseer Hank of Vault 33 actually was a transfer from Vault 32 many years ago. So it obviously works out that you can have people transfer over and they adjust well and they become part of the society in Vault 33. So that's really the beginning of the story, is that there's going to be a big exchange, and they go to have a big wedding. And so Lucy meets this guy who she's supposed to basically be romantically involved in through an arranged marriage. And they have this big feast and everything. And then all hell breaks loose. Essentially what happens is the people they thought were vault dwellers from Vault 32 are not. They were fooled. These people actually are raiders. And they just destroy the whole vault, kill a bunch of people, kidnap Hank, and leave them all essentially for dead. So there's not many vault dwellers left after the intro of the show. Since they kidnapped Lucy's dad, Lucy decides she wants to go on a journey to go find it. Okay, now how on earth she's going to do this, it doesn't really make much sense. Like, there's no way. How are you going to find the dad? She doesn't have any way to track him. She has no idea where these raiders took her dad, right? She just decides she's going to go on a journey. It's kind of similar to the plot of Fallout 3, right? Where all hell breaks loose and the dad is, leaves the vault. Liam Neeson, remember Liam Neeson plays the character? And you are the vault dweller who decides to go out into the wasteland looking for your dad. And that's kind of the plot of Fallout 3. So it definitely is a throwback to that. And that's Lucy. She's one of the main protagonist characters. Okay? The second protagonist character, his name is Maximus. And he is an up-and-coming trainee in the Brotherhood of Steel. And another thing that this show does pretty uniquely is it shows how the Brotherhood of Steel operates from an insider's perspective. If you remember in other previous games, you never actually played as a Brotherhood of Steel character. So instead, you had to just kind of go in and see how their camps are set up and talk to them and get an understanding through lore of how they work. But you never got to actually see how the Brotherhood of Steel trains, what the levels of hierarchy are, how you advance. And this show massively explains all of that. So anyone who has been a fan up to this point of Fallout and you like the idea of the Brotherhood of Steel, this show is fascinating, okay? So Maximus is essentially one of the trainees. He wants to eventually become a squire who's kind of the sidekick to one of the knights. With the knights are the guys that get to be in the power armor and go out and do the heavy missions in the wasteland. Now, for those who don't know, the Brotherhood of Steel are essentially a group that think that it's unsafe for technology to be unchecked out in the wasteland. They feel that they need to go out there and find all the tech and hoard it for themselves and determine what humanity should or shouldn't have access to, okay? And this has been a running plot line in all the Fallout games, that sometimes they go out there and they hoard things that would help humanity, but they don't think humanity knows enough to really have that responsibility. So some people like the Brotherhood because sometimes the Brotherhood do what they feel is just, and others hate the Brotherhood because they're like, man, the Brotherhood just comes and takes everything and doesn't really care about anyone but themselves. So with their power armor, they're kind of hard to argue with. You know, they show up with these things run by these power cores. It's like walking tanks, and they just kind of tear stuff up, and there's not much that you can do to stop them. So in this show, you see this character Maximus, who is a trainee, and he's on the road to try to become a squire. You know, there's these evaluations that they have and things like that, and his backstory. All right, and this is where it gets really interesting for those of you who are fans of early Fallout games or Fallout New Vegas. He used to actually be, as a kid, part of the NCR. What is that? The New California Republic? So this is one of the groups, one of the factions in Fallout New Vegas that you could either side with or go against with. And essentially, they're a militaristic group that are looking to basically kind of be the goody two-shoes people in the region of California, Vegas, you know, that whole West Coast area of the United States. And they are at odds and at neck and neck with Caesar's Legion, which is a whole different group. They're more barbarian, kind of very, very brutal. Like, you know, they'll kill you for nothing just because they're listening to what their leader is saying. Their leader is actually named Caesar. So basically, that's the plot of New Vegas, is these two factions kind of going at it. So you find out in the lore of this right away, you find this out, that when Maximus was a child, he was part of the NCR, and the NCR apparently were attacked by someone, and the Brotherhood showed up and rescued him, and since then, he basically saw them as heroes. So that's why he joined their group. That's why he wants to be part of this group and become a squire, and eventually he aspires to be one of the actual Brotherhood Knights, okay? So his plot begins where he's basically just training with the Brotherhood, and it's him and a bunch of others who are all kind of like at the bottom, and they're like almost hazing each other and treating each other badly. I mean, his first scene, he's getting the crap beat out of him by a bunch of other trainees. They're just beating the crap out of this guy. He's bleeding everywhere, all right? And by the way, I should say, this show is incredibly gory. Like, way over the top gore. Gory deaths, head explosions, brains, eyeballs popping, like, gross stuff, just like the games. But translating that from video game to the world of something realistic, because these are real people on the screen, it can be, you know, warning for the squeamish. You probably want to be a little careful about that, you know, if you're not okay with gore. Anyway. Yes, Bloody Mess perk. Exactly. Bloody Mess perk activated on this show for sure. So anyway, in a strange turn of events, the trainee, who also is basically kind of friends and comrades with Maximus, is selected to become a squire. A squire is the person who runs around as kind of the errand boy or person who backs up a knight. Now, I wasn't even aware of this relationship because in the video games, they never really explained it before. And I was like, what is a squire, right? They didn't really even show that. The knights usually are just out doing missions by themselves. But apparently, just like a medieval knight would have a squire who would go around and carry their equipment and help out the knight, well, so that the Brotherhood Knights have the same thing. So, Maximus's friend gets selected to be a squire. And there's a big celebration and everything. But then, one of the day or two before they're supposed to go out to do their squire duties, someone puts big, like really debilitating sharp razor blades inside of their boot. So they put their foot into the boot, and this is a gory scene. Their whole foot gets destroyed. It's ripped apart. Now, obviously, you have a deformed foot. How are you going to be a squire, right? So now there's this big controversy. Who did it? Was it Maximus? Was it someone else? Since we are seeing from the perspective of Maximus, we know it wasn't him, but the Brotherhood suspect him and think that actually he's the one who did it. And they put him into a big interrogation about it. Did you do it or whatever? And basically, through a series of inspired quotes and sayings, basically what Maximus says is, listen, I would give my life for the Brotherhood. You guys gave me meaning. I didn't have meaning in my life. You rescued me from the disaster of the NCR being attacked and I would I would gladly give my life for the Brotherhood because you guys already gave me a life. It's the only reason I'm alive. So during that answer, the person who's in charge of this faction of the Brotherhood, whatever this group is on the West Coast, because I don't know if they actually even give them a formal name. So it's one of the high guys. I don't know if he's called the Arbiter or whatever he is. He wears the robe. He's kind of the ruler scholar guy. Basically, he's won over by Maximus. And he says, all right, you know what? You're going to be the new squire. I don't think you did it. So we're going to make you the new squire in place of your friend who now can no longer be a squire. And so that's the story of Maximus. He's going to become a squire, and he's going to go out with a knight, and they get a mission. And the mission is thus. There is someone who has escaped the Enclave. Wait, what? The Enclave. You think about that, right? The Enclave was destroyed. If you've played the video games, you know that. The Enclave doesn't exist anymore. In Fallout 3, I mean, the Enclave literally, like, blows up, depending on your choices, but you defeat them at the end of Fallout 3. By Fallout New Vegas, basically, the Enclave is done, and all you find are the remnants. Remember, you actually recruit the remnants of the Enclave, like 6 or 7 older people, and then they team up and they help you at the end of the game. Because the Enclave